Folks, Jimmy here, Grain to Train. New video for you to kick off the week. And what I want to talk about is burning your boat. All right. And if you haven't heard of this parable, it may be a true story. I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard it at success seminars, and I've heard it in, read about it in different books. But essentially, it was a group of soldiers that would, when they would go to invade, an island, when they got off the boat, they would burn it. So it was either they take over the island or they die. All right, there was no safety net, there was no retreat. It was they did what they had to do or they die. And that's the type of pressure that you're gonna have to put on yourself if you really want to, make those changes to get the things that you desire. And that's with anything. Too many times I see people with the safety net up and they wonder why they can't stick with working out and eating right and things like that. They're too comfortable. They always give themselves an out. Oh well, Jimmy, it's just one workout. I'm not doing that bad. I'm doing better than most. Or Jimmy, the carb addiction is. I just gotta have my sweets and stuff. And when you give yourself an out, when you say things like that, it's like you make it okay to not get what you want. And you have to get in that mindset of like no net. And what I mean by that is, so when I was training, in college, when, my goal was to be the best athlete I can be and aspire to play in the NFL, like I had this mindset where there was no missing a workout. I'll put it that way. Like I felt like if I didn't work out, I wasn't getting better and somebody else was getting better than me. And even though that was probably not true, missing one day probably wouldn't hurt, but that was my mentality. Like I just had to always do something. I didn't care if I was injured. If I was injured, I would work around it, the injury. Like I just would not miss. I didn't care. I once went to the gym when I had the stomach flu my freshman year of college. I brought some Lysol wipes with me, put on some thick hoodies, and wiped everything down after every set. That was just my mentality. There was I didn't allow myself a net to fall back on. Oh well, I'm sick, I need to rest or recover. Oh, I'm injured, I gotta heal up. I didn't give myself an out. I put myself in that state of mind where I'm getting after this. I'm taking over the island. All right, there is no retreat, so I'm giving it everything I got. So this is real powerful concept you really need to apply, and that's with anything, whether it's diet, exercise, starting a business, things like that. You have to eliminate the fallback. That's the only way it's going to work. I've heard Will Smith say, you shouldn't have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. And that's really true. And let me tell you, it's difficult. It's not easy. I pride myself on being a hard worker, and I've always pushed myself the extra mile. And when it came to my businesses, I was, working hard, but sometimes I let off the gas. If I wasn't, if I was really productive, I would take it easy at times and then kick back up. It just wasn't the day in day out consistent effort that it needed to be. And granted, I was working really hard at things, but I had a net backup because I was still working full time. Everything was getting paid, so if I did ease off the gas, it was nothing to worry about, right? Because I still had a safety net up. But once that changed, once the situation with my job changed, and now it went from working full-time to part-time, and decided to just really live on faith and again burn the boat, which I finally did this summer, take the net away. Now I'm doing things where now I see what everybody's talking about, because now consistently I do those uncomfortable things that I may not have felt like doing. And it's every day I have to do these things, because if I don't, all right, then there's no food on the table, the lights get cut off, things like that. So I don't have a choice anymore. I have to make these things work. And don't get me wrong, it's scary, it's hard, it's a grind. But at the same time, as you're working towards these things, so as I pour into my two businesses, and I'm helping people, and I'm getting content out, and I see the business growing, it's equally as exciting as it is, kind of, terrifying. It is both. And as people, we underestimate how strong we really are. Change, uncertainty are scary things to our mind. we like to be consistent, comfort zones and all that. But once you are kind of in the fire, you realize how strong you were created, and you realize that once you're in it, like, you're able to hold your own. That's what's pretty powerful. But most people don't want to take that step. Like Steve Harvey said, if you want your shoot to open, you want to be successful, you got to jump. That's what he means by that. And you got to go. You just got to do it. You got to get yourself in that state of mind. Don't have a fallback. Don't fall back on an excuse. Don't fall back on, oh well, I can't really get to the gym because this, that, and the other, or I'll start. Don't do that. Don't leave those nets up. Get yourself in that state of mind as all in. I'm gonna get this or die trying type of mentality. And that's the type of attitude it's gonna take to get to where you want to be at. There's no other way around it. These amazing weight loss stories that you see, a lot of times when somebody loses 100 pounds, 80 pounds, things like that, what made them do it, the net was taken away. The doctor probably told them, like, if you don't make changes, you're probably going to die very soon. All right, it may not have been worded that way. It could have been in terms of different illnesses, but essentially that's what it, like, you either do this or you die. There's no option, no net. So what do? They make it happen. They lose the weight. They start exercising. They start eating better. They transform their lives and their inspiration to others. That's how it works. That's how you get to the great goals that you want. But as long as you're sitting back and you got a net up, you'll always fall back to the net, especially when things get hard, especially when the results aren't coming as quick as you want, or people are laughing at you, or people are talking about you behind your back, all sorts of weird things that humans do for whatever reason when you're trying to do better. And when the net is gone, you're in that get it or die trying mode. None of that matters. You're gonna make it happen. You're gonna put in the work. You're gonna do the uncomfortable day in and day out, and the compound effect kicks in, and that's where you see the big change and the big result. All right. So, more of the story: burn your boat. If you're not where you want to be at, take that leap of faith. Go ahead and jump. That's all I can tell you. I'm jumped right now. I'm falling. My chute's slowly opening, but guess what? I'm telling you, it's making me a better person. It's a grind, but it's equally rewarding. And let me tell you, like, when you do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Just like when my boss, gave me the speech, I see exactly what he's talking about now. All right, so no more nets, no more comfort zones. You want something, take that leap of faith, go get it. It's worth it.